Hello world, this is Badass Tron bringing you LEGO Transformers Soundwave. Now, LEGO recently released their official set for Soundwave, but unfortunately, because that thing is way too expensive, I'm probably never gonna get that. So, to cure my sadness, I built this little guy. This is Soundwave in his cassette player mode. There's a lot of details missing, like his chest doesn't have any record looking stuff. But I think overall I got the decent shape of a cassette player. The round with like the rounded edges and these indents here, I think they look very cool. But like all Soundwaves, when you turn them into the back, yeah, it's kind of just a folded up robot. But I think I did manage to make it quite clean. This is his shoulder cannon, which can just peg into the back of the cassette player. And honestly, overall, I think it's a relatively clean alt mode. Now he does come with a cassette. This is not my own design. I remember a long time ago I was watching YouTube and someone made a Laserbeak based off this. I don't remember who. I am sorry. But if someone tells me in the comments, I will be very, very thankful. But yeah, he can't spit out cassettes, although because of how he is built, you could just flip him over and Laserbeak could fall out. Although there is enough clutch that doesn't happen all the time, so at least there's that. And for a size comparison, here he is with a minifigure. And yes, this is an outrageously large cassette player, but that's just how G1 scaling usually goes. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this guy, so it's time to transform. Okay, before I transform Soundwave, we're gonna take his shoulder cannon and his cassette. We're gonna move these two to the side. Coming to the legs, we're gonna move these sides down. Move these forward just a little bit to get enough clearance to shift this down. And you can do the same to the other side. Turn him around to the back. The arms will flip out like this. Straighten out. We can move the chest out a little bit to rotate the arms forward, because if you move the entire brick like what I did with that orange one, the entire chest assembly decides to collapse and break apart. We can fold these down. The head will go up, turn around. We can move his arms back a little. I can move the camera back. I don't think that's far enough yet, but whatever. Anyways, here's Soundwave in his robot mode. Now to transform. Now we're gonna take his shoulder cannon. This peg right here, this stud, it's just gonna plug into his shoulder like that. And then as for Laserbeak, split it apart. Move these tiles back. And Laserbeak can kind of just sit in Soundwave's hand. Anyways, there's Soundwave with his accessories. I do quite like the look of this guy. He's not exactly the official set, but if we're on a budget, he does work. For size comparison, here he is next to a minifigure, so he is fairly tall. If you do wish, you can keep Laserbeak as a cassette in robot mode. So if I were to yeah, he can still function. Also, one thing you may notice about Soundwave, he's kind of forward heavy, so that can be a little annoying trying to balance him. I like the coming down to the legs, I really like the shaping of his feet. I think his knees or thighs right here, it's like a really unsightly gap, but there isn't really any way for me to really fix that. I really like how his waist tapers in. That was a really nice detail, and it gives him just a little more, like, a nicer body shape. One thing I will admit, his shoulders are a bit low, but I think that's fine. Although I will admit his arms are really weirdly shaped, simply because his elbows are always at this 90-degree angle, which means in order to get him like his arms regularly, you gotta do that, which is still incredibly noticeable in most angles. For articulation, his head can move up and down, left and right. Although, if he has his shoulder cannon on, it is going to be blocked a little. Speaking of which, that can rotate left and right. At the arms, his shoulder can rotate up and down, back, and a little bit forward, but you have to move the chest a little. The more forward you move it. At the elbow, you can move forward and back. A little bit lower, you can move left and right. And he does have a hand that can move up and down, and technically left and right, but it looks really weird. He does have an ab crunch, but it goes the other way. Yeah, I was actually trying to build a different idea, but it didn't work, and it ended up becoming Soundwave, so this is just a little remnant of the previous build. At the hips, they can move in and out, forward, not really back at the clit, but there is this piece here that can let you move the feet back and as well as in and out, though because the feet are so thick, you're really only going to be able to move them out. Honestly, Soundwave was a nice build to do, even if he was kind of on accident. But that's all I have to say about Soundwave, so I'll see y'all in the next one.